Welcome back to the channel JF Coin, where today we dive deep into the world of United States coins and hidden treasures that might just be sitting in your pocket change or old jar of pennies at home. In this video, we will be talking about the 1978 1-cent Lincoln penny, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance but carries with it a fascinating history, surprising details, and in certain conditions, can be worth hundreds of dollars, even reaching a market value of around $442 or more. So make sure you stay tuned until the very end because we are going to reveal everything you need to know about this coin, from its background to its errors, and how collectors determine its value in today's market. Let us first take a step back in history. The Lincoln cent, also known as the Lincoln penny, was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the very first United States coin to feature the image of a real person, breaking away from the tradition of symbolic figures such as Lady Liberty. The design of the Lincoln penny was created by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB can still be found on some issues of the coin. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent has undergone changes in design, composition, and minting techniques, but it has always remained one of the most collected coins in American history. Now, when we focus specifically on the 1978 Lincoln penny, we are looking at a coin struck during an interesting period of American coinage. By this time, the penny was being produced primarily in copper, containing 95% copper and 5% zinc. Each coin weighs 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. This was before the major change of 1982, when the composition was switched to a copper-plated zinc planchet. This means that the 1978 penny is one of the last full copper Lincoln cents, which makes it attractive to collectors who seek coins made from this valuable metal. The obverse of the coin shows the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the inscriptions Liberty on the left and In God We Trust along the top rim, while the date 1978 appears on the right. The reverse side features the iconic image of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., designed by Frank Gasparro, with the words United States of America across the top and E pluribus unum above the memorial. At the bottom you will find the denomination 1 cent. Now let's talk about the numbers. In 1978, the United States Mint produced Lincoln cents in huge quantities. More than 5.5 billion pennies were struck that year across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Philadelphia struck the coins without a mint mark, Denver coins carried the letter D below the date, and the San Francisco mint struck proof coins with the S mint mark. Because of these large mintages, most 1978 pennies are still common in circulation today. However, what makes some of them valuable is their condition, special errors, or being preserved in pristine proof quality. A regular worn 1978 penny that you find in change is usually worth only face value, 1 cent. But when we move to coins in uncirculated mint state condition, the value climbs significantly. Collectors grade coins on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. A 1978 penny in MS65 red, meaning it still has its original bright red copper luster, can sell for several dollars. As the grade improves to MS67 or higher, the value can skyrocket. In fact, some examples of the 1978 penny in top condition have sold for over $400 at auction, with certain coins fetching around $442 or more depending on demand and rarity at the time of sale. But the real excitement comes from error coins. During the minting process, mistakes sometimes happen, and these error coins can become highly sought after by collectors. Examples of errors on the 1978 penny include double die obverse or reverse where the design looks doubled, off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, broad strikes where the rim is expanded, and even clipped planchets where a piece of the coin is missing due to a cutting error. Such error coins can range in value from a few dollars to several hundred depending on the severity and appeal of the error. One of the most popular varieties of 1978 pennies is the double-die variety. If you carefully examine the lettering in words such as liberty, in God we trust, or the date, you might notice doubling. Collectors love these varieties because they are visually dramatic and rare. Another highly collectible piece is the Proof 1978 Soft Lincoln Center. These proof coins were specially made for collectors using polished dies and planchets, resulting in mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. In high grade, these proof coins can be worth tens of dollars or more, especially if they are graded PR70 by certification services like PCGS or NGC. So why do collectors pay so much for these coins? The answer lies in rarity and condition. While billions of 1978 pennies were made, only a small fraction remain in flawless or near-flawless condition. Time, circulation, and handling cause most coins to lose their shine, develop scratches, or get damaged. Collectors always compete for the best preserved examples because they represent the finest known survivors of their type. This demand drives up auction prices, making coins like the 1978 penny in MS67 red condition worth hundreds of dollars. Another factor to consider is the sentimental and historical value. The Lincoln cent is one of the longest-running coin series in American history, still being minted today more than a century after its introduction. People enjoy collecting these coins because they are affordable to start with, yet challenging to complete in high grade. The 1978 penny also connects us to the late 1970s, a period of significant social and economic change in the United States. Owning a pristine coin from that era is like holding a small piece of history in your hand. Now let us discuss how you can check the value of your 1978 penny. First, look at the mint mark to determine whether it is from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Next, examine the coin's condition. If it has full original red luster and minimal marks, it may be worth grading by a professional service. Look closely under magnification for any doubling or unusual features that could indicate an error. And finally, check recent auction results to see how similar coins have been selling in today's market. Remember that demand and prices can fluctuate, so a coin that sells for $200 today might reach $400 tomorrow depending on collector interest. To summarize, the 1978 1-cent Lincoln penny is far more than just small change. While most examples are worth only a cent, coins in superb condition or with rare errors can be valued at hundreds of dollars, with some bringing around $442 in the marketplace. This makes it a fascinating coin for collectors and treasure hunters alike. So before you spend or toss away your old pennies, take a closer look. You never know if you are holding a hidden gem. Thank you for watching and joining us on this journey into the history and value of the 1978 Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting tips, hidden treasures, and fascinating stories from the world of United States coinage. Stay tuned because in our upcoming videos we will uncover even more coins that might be hiding in your pocket change worth far more than their face value. Until next time, happy collecting! Script and would you like me to also make a catchy title and thumbnail text ideas for this 1978 penny video, so it grabs attention on YouTube? Today we are diving deep into the fascinating history and hidden treasures of one of the most collected coins in American history, the 1979 Lincoln cent. This is not just an ordinary penny, it is a piece of American heritage that has been sitting in the pockets, jars and drawers of millions of people for decades, yet some of these humble 1-cent coins are now worth hundreds of dollars, and in certain rare conditions can even touch the astonishing market value of over $442. That is right, a single penny that once bought a piece of candy can today be worth a small fortune. If you know what to look for, the Lincoln cent has been a part of American culture since 1909 when it was first introduced. To honor the 100th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin has carried the image of Lincoln for more than a century, making it the longest-running coin design in United States history. By 1979, the Lincoln penny had already become a staple in everyday life, circulating across the nation with billions of examples struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. But here is where the story becomes interesting. While billions of 1979 cents were produced, only a tiny fraction contain special features, rare minting errors, or unique conditions that turned them from ordinary change into treasures worth big money. Let us start with the design details. On the obverse or the front of the coin, you see the proud bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right with the word liberty on the left and the year 1979 on the right. Above him sits the motto, "In God We Trust," and this simple yet powerful design is what makes the penny such an iconic coin. The reverse of the 1979 cent still featured the Lincoln Memorial, which had been added in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely at the back of these coins, you will even notice a tiny image of the Lincoln statue inside the memorial, making this design extra special. Now let us talk about value. Because of their large mintage, most 1979 pennies are worth just 1 cent in circulated condition. However, collectors are always searching for coins in pristine uncirculated condition or coins that have striking errors from the mint. This is where things get exciting. A regular 1979 cent from Philadelphia in average condition is common, but if you find one in brilliant uncirculated condition graded by professional services, it can easily fetch several dollars at auction. And for the rarest examples, those with unusual doubling on the lettering or numbers, or coins that are struck off-center or on the wrong planchet, prices can skyrocket. Some collectors have paid over $400 for the finest 1979 pennies in top grade. One of the most famous varieties of the 1979 Lincoln cent is the double die obverse variety. In these coins, the doubling can often be seen on the date 1979 or in the inscriptions such as Liberty or In God We Trust. Collectors hunt for these errors because they are rare and visually striking. A strong double die example in mint state condition can bring serious money. Another factor is the mint mark. In 1979, pennies were made at the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark, the Denver Mint with a D mark, and the San Francisco Mint with an S mark. Proof coins from San Francisco in particular are highly sought after, especially the Type 2 variety where the S mint mark is sharply defined, as opposed to the blurry Type 1. These proof sets contain coins of the highest quality, and today certain examples are valued at hundreds of dollars. But condition is everything in coin collecting. The grading scale runs from poor to mint state 70, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A 1979 Lincoln cent in circulated condition might only buy you another penny, but the same coin in MS-67 red condition can bring hundreds of dollars at auction. This is why collectors carefully store and protect their coins using coin flips, holders, and albums. If you are lucky enough to discover a coin in your pocket change that looks shiny and nearly flawless, it is always worth checking if it could be a hidden treasure. Another fascinating aspect of the 1979 penny is its composition. By this time, the coins were still being struck in a bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin. This composition gives the coin a rich reddish color that collectors describe as red brown or brown, depending on how it has toned. Over time, copper coins in particular can develop beautiful patterns that make each piece unique. In 1982, the composition of the penny would change to primarily zinc with a thin copper coating, so the 1979 cent represents the final years of the classic copper penny. Collectors love these older copper coins not only for their history but also for their weight and feel, which is noticeably different from modern pennies. When we talk about market value today, certain 1979 pennies have sold for extraordinary prices at auction. A rare example in superb gem condition with a strong strike, blazing luster, and no visible marks can command over $442 and sometimes even more depending on collector demand. That is why coin enthusiasts carefully examine every penny they come across, because you never know when a common-looking coin could actually be a rarity. So next time you hold a 1979 Lincoln cent, take a closer look at it, check the date, check for mint marks, and look closely for any unusual doubling or striking errors. Look at the condition of the coin. Does it still have that original copper shine? Or is it worn and dull? These tiny details could be the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and a coin worth hundreds of dollars. The Lincoln cent is more than just pocket change. It is a story of American history, a tribute to Abraham Lincoln, and a hidden treasure chest for collectors. Even a simple penny can tell us about art, design, economy, and history, all wrapped in one small piece of metal. And who knows, maybe in your change jar or coin roll there is a 1979 cent waiting to surprise you with its true value. So coin lovers, keep your eyes open, check your pocket change, and always remember that history and fortune can be hiding in the smallest places. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story of the 1979 Lincoln cent, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with fellow collectors. We have so many more coin stories coming that reveal the secrets and hidden values behind the coins you see every day. Thank you for watching and happy collecting. Would you like me to also add a powerful clickbait style YouTube video title and thumbnail text to go with this script so it attracts maximum viewers? Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating United States 1 cent coins ever struck, the 1971 Lincoln penny. This little copper coin may look ordinary to many people, but it has a hidden story, a rich history, and in some rare cases it can be worth hundreds of dollars, even up to $442 in the coin market. When we talk about the 1971 penny, we are looking at a piece of history struck at the Denver Mint. The letter D below the date represents Denver, and it was one of the busiest mints of the United States during this time. In fact, billions of Lincoln cents were struck in 1971 across Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. However, among those billions are some extremely rare and valuable varieties that collectors dream of finding. Now let us take a step back and talk about the Lincoln cent series itself. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, this coin became the longest-running design in American coinage history. Created by Victor David Brenner, the coin's obverse shows a powerful and timeless portrait of President Lincoln, and the reverse, during 1971, still featured the Lincoln Memorial design, which had been introduced in 1959, replacing the wheat penny reverse. The 1971 1971 Lincoln cent was struck from an alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, meaning it has that rich reddish brown or chocolate color that collectors love. Now here is the interesting part. Although most 1971 pennies are only worth their face value of 1 cent, some rare varieties command huge prices in auctions and private sales. The reason lies in errors and special minting anomalies. One of the most famous varieties of the 1971 cent is the double die obverse variety. Collectors often call it DDO, and it shows strong doubling in the lettering of the words "Liberty in God We Trust" and the date itself. If you take a close look with a magnifying glass, the doubling is obvious, and dramatic coins like this have sold for hundreds of dollars depending on their condition. A high-grade example in uncirculated mint state red condition has been valued at more than $442, and in some cases even higher. Another thing that adds value is condition coin. Grading plays a huge role in the market price. A 1971 cent in circulated condition with scratches and wear may only bring a few cents, but if you find one in pristine condition with full luster and sharp detail, it becomes a treasure. Coins graded MS65 or higher by top grading services like PCGS or NGC are the ones that reach hundreds of dollars, and these are the coins series collectors chase after. So why are these pennies so valuable? It comes down to rarity and demand. While billions were made, only a tiny fraction display the rare doubling or survive in perfect mint state condition, and collectors are always willing to pay a premium for rarity combined with historical significance. Let's not forget that the Lincoln cent is not just a coin but Also a cultural icon, it has been in our pockets for over a century, telling the story of America's economy, wars, triumphs, and changes. Each coin carries a little piece of that history, and when you hold a 1971 cent in your hand, you are literally touching a piece of the early 70s, an era of change and transformation in the United States. Now here is a tip for all coin hunters. Always check your 1971 pennies carefully, especially the ones from Denver. Use a magnifying glass or even better, a coin microscope. Look closely at Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. If you see W, you may have just discovered a treasure worth hundreds of dollars. Also pay attention to the color. Collectors value coins labeled as red higher than those labeled as brown or red brown, because the bright red luster means the coin has been preserved very well since the day it was minted. So next time you come across a handful of pennies, do not ignore the 1971 Lincoln cent, because that 1 cent coin could secretly be worth $442 or more. Coin collecting is all about patience, knowledge, and the thrill of the hunt. And who knows, maybe your coin jar, your change from the grocery store, or that old box in the attic holds one of these ultra-rare Lincoln pennies. In conclusion, the 1971 Lincoln cent is more than just small change. It is a window into history, a piece of art by Victor David Brenner, and potentially a valuable collectible worth far more than its face value. Keep searching, keep learning, and keep your eyes open, because the next great treasure might already be in your pocket. Thank you for watching and joining me on this exciting journey through the history and value of the 1971 Ultra Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting adventures, and share your own stories in the comments below. Have you ever found a rare penny in your change? Let's keep the coin collecting spirit alive and continue the hunt together. Do you want me to make this script even longer, like a 15-minute video version with extra storytelling, comparisons to other years, and collector tips?